What's going on, everyone? It is May 5th. It is Cinco de Mayo. Actually, I just realized that. How are you guys doing? Like I said, it's May 5th, 2021, and here we are tonight for your Wednesday night Dynamite, aka your Blood and Guts post show. Let me know what you guys thought about tonight's show down in the chat. We're going to get straight into it tonight. I'm assuming there's some some different feelings about some certain stuff and things, so we might as well just get to the ending of the show. We might as well just get to Blood and Guts, but before we do that, overall, let me know what you guys thought about the show. I would love to see what you guys thought about the show. And you know what? I haven't done it in a while, so let me shout out everyone that is here at the beginning of the show. Jeremy, how you doing, my friend? Vance was here as well. La, how are you doing? Marcel is in the building. Nova is here as well. How you doing, my friend? Trevin is here. Alec Phillips, how you doing, my friend? Revolution Music is in the building as well. Corey, how are you doing? Justo is here. Maddie, let's see here. Molly Man is here. How you doing, my friend? Obi James is here. Sports and Stuff is here as well. My fellow friend My disciple Flash is here. Shout out to you, my friend. I really appreciate you. JBOJ is here as well. Mauricio Chef is here. Whew, okay. Ashton is here as well. Daniel is here. Let's see. We got Ale in the building. Warrior, how are you doing, my friend? Good to see you. I saw it first as well. Will, how are you doing? What is going on, everyone? How is everyone doing? Okay, so let's get right to it. The finish of Blood and Guts. What did you guys think about the finish? I feel like when you heard that it was either going to be a surrender or a submission, I feel like it was pretty obvious that it was going to be some sort of surrender, right? Me, personally, I don't have a problem with the finish. I don't have a problem with the finish whatsoever. Finish makes a lot of sense to me. They beat the living hell out of each other. MJF escaped to the top of the Blood and Guts cage, whatever the hell it is you want to call it. Chris Jericho went up there as well. So the finish doesn't bother me. Sammy Guevara surrendering the match so that MJF would not throw Chris Jericho off of the top of the Blood and Guts cage does not bother me. It makes a lot of sense, in my opinion, that you wouldn't want someone getting launched off of the Blood and Guts cage. Right? No complaints. But here is my complaint. Here is my complaint. The padding. I thought everything was great. The presentation of the fall was not good. And I'm not one of those people that is out here like, no, I do not want, however old Chris Jericho is, I don't want anyone to be thrown off of a steel cage like that. Okay? But if you're gonna do it, just make the presentation just a little bit better. Once they zoomed out, you could instantly tell what that was. You could instantly tell that was a big landing pad. And it's fine. It's fine that it's a landing pad. Like, I get it. It's fine. But the funny thing too is that when you look at it and they zoom in on Chris Jericho, you can tell that it is foam pads that look like they're supposed to be steel plates. Let me see if hold on. Lois says, but don't say it's concrete. That's my only problem. And let me see if I can, I think I snapped a picture of it that was good. Is it this one? Yeah, all right. This is good enough. Let me put this on the screen here. So you can kind of get a visual of what I'm talking about here. Let's see here. Screenshot. Oh God, there's multiples. Okay, it's this one. There we go. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about. You can clearly tell that these are little pads that look like steel, and underneath them, you can see a giant pad. This is my problem. This is my only problem. Other than that, I think it was great. This is my only problem. Just how fake this looks. That's it. That is it. I think that everything else makes sense. And everyone in chat is saying that they said it was concrete, which is wild as hell because this looks nothing like concrete, first of all. They look like fake steel plates. But, you know, when they did it on NXT, when they had that Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole match, listen, I'm not an insider for wrestling, so I don't know how all of this shit works. I don't know what they're actually doing and what they're actually not doing in terms of these things. But when Adam Cole sent Kyle O'Reilly through the stage, he went through the stage. If there was a crash pad under there and he landed on it, cool, good for them. I think that's what should have happened in this case. They should have thrown Jericho off. He should have went through something and he should have just disappeared. You know? And then they could have gotten him out on a stretcher or something like that. So my only complaint is just how fake the fall looked. That's it. That's it. And I don't think it's the end of the world. Like I said, I like the finish personally. I think it makes sense. It's just this part was not for me. This part was not for me. Nova with the $1.99 super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. He says, I wanted a disqualification or interference finish. God damn it. Thank you so much, man, for that super chat. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. So that's my complaint. That is my only complaint about the blood and guts match. The rest of it, I thought it was great. The intensity was fantastic. The blood was great. And like I said, I thought the finish was good. It makes a lot of sense. You're not going to want to get thrown off of a steel cage. Like, that's just the way it is. No one wants to go through that. Okay? The crash pad, yes. Completely understand. And I don't blame anyone for that. Justo says, I saw Dax, Sammy, MJF, and Jericho get their blades. Fair enough. I saw a couple people complain about that. I don't think that it doesn't really bother me. Let's see here. Marcel says people are calling it another Revolution finish, but it really wasn't that bad. No, I mean, I don't think so. I don't think this takes away anything from the match, in my opinion. It's just, I mean, look, what were you expecting? Someone to legit go through like a commentary table like Mick Foley did back in the day? Like, we literally just talked about that yesterday, I think. So like, I don't think people should be taking those kind of hits. But at the same time, this, that was like on a scale of 12, 12 out of 10. They turned this one down to like a 2 or a 3. It was a little too soft in my opinion. And they did that with the Stadium Stampede as well when I want to say it was Kenny Omega gave Sammy Guevara the one-winged angel off of the ledge or something onto a crash pad. But that I didn't mind because it was so high up. So maybe it was some sort of camera angle issue as well, perhaps. Or maybe it was just that they lingered in too long to where you could see that sort of things. But I really feel like the whole thing would have changed so much had he just gone through it and just disappeared completely. That's what I would have done. Personally, that's what I would have done. Daniel says the ending may not have been everyone's cup of tea, but the actual in-ring action was brilliant. Wardlow was presented as a beast, always fighting back for the Pinnacle, and the ads ruined them. I don't think the ads ruined it either. I think it definitely took away, for sure. Took away because this is a very intense match, and I don't think that we should really be missing it. But at the same time, like, it's TV. What are they going to do? I felt like the ads were fairly limited. Considering that it was the last 40 minutes, but I would have liked to have seen like literally no ads. If we had to watch like 1,000 ads during the first hour of the show, I wouldn't mind. That would have been fine. Molly Man says Miro getting out of nowhere title matches. Man thinks he is gold. I mean, he's the number, or he's not the number one booked. No, I don't think he is. Ale says it's free. Who cares? I mean, I don't think that just because it's free doesn't mean that people shouldn't be able to critique it. But I don't mind it. Like I said, I don't mind it. I thought the match was great. I enjoyed all of the match. I just didn't like the crash pad at the end. That's it. That's it. I don't think it took away anything. It's just, I don't know. It just kind of is what it is, I guess. I saw first as over 1 million views this week for AEW, for sure. For sure. They'll definitely be over 1 million. If I had to guess, I think earlier I guessed 1.5 or 1.6 would be my guess for Blood and Guts. Alex says, why did they just use chairs? They should have used other weapons. Chris Jericho used a bat, I guess. I don't know, though. I don't know. Delay says ads ruined the match for me. We got no ads in the main event of Winter is Coming, so why do we have ads here? I don't know. I don't know the logistics in trying to get such a thing to happen with a network. I'm not sure. It's probably a pain in the ass because people want to be a part of these. And AEW has a good demo rating, so ad rates are pretty good. So I'm not sure. Delight says Impact paid for the crash pad. Ashton brings up a good point. Says Santana used a fork. Yep, he did. Maddie says 1.4 and it falls back to 1.1 next week. Sure. Yeah, I could see that. I wouldn't be mad at that. Delight says Miro becomes the TNT champion next week. Damn. Yes, he does. I cannot wait. Man, I cannot wait to talk about that. I'm so excited. So excited for that. Let's see here. Justo says, who should be in Blood and Guts next year? Lucha Bros gotta be in it. See, I don't know if this is going to be a yearly thing or just a random thing. I hope that this is just I hope it's not a yearly thing, and I hope that it just happens when it needs to happen, in my opinion. I feel like when you put things like this in your TV shows, or sorry, in your pay-per-view things, you have to get to these points. You have to build towards them. So I would much prefer that this just pops up whenever it needs to happen. That would be my thing. Elle says Shotzi took a shot at Jericho spot on her Twitter. I just saw that. Yeah, I saw that. It's a girl. If you want to know, it's a girl falling down on her bed, like, you know, like everyone probably has done at some point in their life. Ryan says, I want Miro to win the TNT championship. Me too, my friend. Me too. Bosley, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you as well. DNM says it's really cool to see Orange Cassidy step up to Kenny Omega. Big step there. It really is. I'm not sure if Orange Cassidy will be the one to win against Pac, but I'm happy either way, man. Kenny Omega versus Pac, good stuff. Kenny Omega versus Orange Cassidy, I think, is great as well. I'm surprised because I really thought we were gonna get Omega versus Moxley or Omega versus Eddie Kingston. So I'm happy either way. Punk says I don't want Darby to lose to Miro. I do, man. I do. So bad. So bad. Rocco says Orange Cassidy is over. I think a 100% capacity crowd with Orange Cassidy versus Omega would be insane. It could. It certainly could. Flash says I'm wondering who is gonna be next. Next week's main event, Mox versus Nagata or Miro versus Darby? That's a good question. With how things have been going, it's been Darby, so I don't know. I would assume that AEW would prioritize their own championship over the New Japan one, so I would probably expect to see Darby and Miro in the main event. And also, I think that's the first match card that they showed as well. Punk says today's Blood and Guts structure is a mix of Hell in a Cell and War Games. Yep. Delight says the double main event. Yeah. Yeah, you could go with that for sure. Elver says, I hope Britt Baker beats Hikaru Shida. Me too, man. Me too. And I hope that I'm there. That is one of the things I want to talk about. I think we talked about enough about Blood and Guts and the finish to start off the show. We'll talk about it once again once we get back to that point in more detail. But I was just kind of curious to see what everyone's thoughts were on that. So let's get to some news. Tony Khan was on Busted Open Radio today, and he said that they're trying to have a 100% capacity crowd at Double or Nothing at Daly's Place this year. And I'm excited. You guys know I had Double or Nothing tickets. They got canceled, of course, because of the pandemic. We decided to hold on to them in hopes that we'd be able to go this year. That got canceled as well. And we didn't get a choice to automatically just get tickets for Double or Nothing at Daly's Place, so they ended up refunding us. But now it's a 100% capacity crowd. Hopefully, I can't remember how many people it is off the top of my head, but we're going to try to go. We are going to try to go for sure. And if you guys missed my post, I think it was a couple days ago at this point, the NBA playoffs will be sort of affecting Dynamite as well. So the go-home episode of AEW Dynamite going into Double or Nothing will not be on Wednesday. It's actually going to be on Friday instead. So that will be interesting. That will be very, very interesting to see. But they're going to have an all-week sort of event here. So Dynamite will be on Friday. Tony Khan said that there will be a fan, I think he called it a fan fest on Saturday, and then Double or Nothing will be on Sunday. So very excited. I'm very excited. The crowd tonight for Blood and Guts was incredible. To hear a real crowd was just, it was so good. It felt absolutely amazing to see. And also, I guess if you don't know, the entire episode of Dynamite was taped tonight except for Blood and Guts. So everyone that was there, I think they pretty much just watched it on TV or on the Titantron. So they were watching the show on the Titantron, but all of the noise from tonight was the crowd. It was from the crowd tonight. And then, of course, they got to watch Blood and Guts, which is amazing. And I think the show was only $25 to go to, which is insane. I wish I lived in Florida. I wish I lived in Jacksonville so that I could go to this. Daly's Place, that venue is just so cool looking. I really want to go there. So hopefully we can get some Double or Nothing tickets. And I would love to be in the building when Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, dethrones Hikaru Shida to become the new AEW Women's Champion, man. Oh, yes. Maddie says, I am dreading that Friday. I actually don't think that they're on head-to-head. I think that SmackDown is on, and then I think that Dynamite will follow it immediately. So they won't be competing against each other, at least to my knowledge. And it's just a one-time thing as well. Safa says, where would you rank this among all the War Games matches? I don't know, man. I don't know. Yes, and he also said Dynamite will start after SmackDown. Yes, they will not be competing with each other. Marcel says the crowd was so hot even for a TV. Yeah, it was crazy. I was surprised. Dawn is going to be loud as hell if this is 50%. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. I'm so excited. So excited. Alex says it should be Darby Allin versus Ethan Page in a Falls Count Anywhere match at Double or Nothing. I think that Miro's going to take it. I think Miro's going to take it. No Hack says, did you get a new microphone? No, I did not. What had happened? Was I deleted a file on my computer that I probably shouldn't have, and it deleted everything. So all of my OBS settings got deleted. All my OBS assets got deleted. My microphone stuff, my GoXLR settings, they all got deleted. I haven't gone through and changed them yet, but I don't know. It sounds fine. Yeah, it does suck. Yeah, it does. And the thing is, I didn't notice it until like 2 hours before I went live after being sick. And so I had to like rebuild it all as fast as I possibly could. I still have to go through and listen and play with the equalizers and stuff like that and change it out, because I feel like I could make it a little bit better. But no, I still have a Shure SM7B set up with a GoXLR. That's what I'm running. Delight says, fingers crossed AEW actually comes to Houston this summer so I can maybe go. I would love to see them travel over here on the West Coast as well. Marcel says, if Darby was in the War Games, he would have said use real steel. Yeah, no shit, right? DNM says, for the voice echoing, can you add Crimson Mask whenever someone is bleeding all over the place like MJF and a few others during the match? What do you mean? Like this? Crimson Mask! Something like that? Or are you talking about like... Damn! Something like that? Because I can do those as well. Jeremy says, I hope SummerSlam is close to where I live this year. That'd be great, man. I think they want to have fans in attendance. So that'd be great. Safa says the craziest spot of the night wasn't even in Blood and Guts. It was Darby getting thrown down the stairs. Man, I thought that Darby was going to get launched over the edge. Over the other side. So, that would have been absolutely insane. All right, so let's go through and talk about this show a little bit here tonight. Marcel says, didn't they say WWE wants to do crowds before AEW? I have no clue. I have absolutely no clue. Luckily for AEW, they're in a really, really lucky place with having Daily's place. Like, man, I don't feel like you could get any luckier than that to actually own this building, this facility where you can air this. And not only that, but it's outside as well. So you can actually have fans in attendance. And I don't know about other states. It's hard to keep up with all this. Like, I don't even really keep up with my own like states news and things that are going on. My fiance is the one that tells me, but for us, man, like we're at like a extremely high risk level again. So like you can't even go out to eat again. You can't go out to eat. It's dumb. You can only eat inside if you're eating inside a thing that's outside. You can't eat inside the building, but you can eat inside a tent outside the building. So we're back to this for 3 more weeks. So I don't know, man. I don't know what the rest of the world is doing. All I know is that Oregon is still kind of in the shitter. Also, I guess since we're talking about this briefly, I will mention this. I'm getting my second shot on the 13th, which is next week, I think, right? Damn, that is next week. So next week on Thursday, I'm getting it. So I'll probably be sick as hell on Friday. So there probably won't be SmackDown coverage on that day anyways, just because that show sucks now as well. But just a heads up that I'm probably going to be dying for the day. Jeremy says most people don't want to get the vaccine. That's why. Yeah, I mean, to each their own, man. But, you know, I got it. We want to travel, and they're going to require that shit to travel. So, Molly Man says, on a more serious note, I'm glad to hear my guy AEW has his voice back. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. It took so long. I feel like I was sick for like almost 3 weeks. So crazy, especially voice and like I was like plugged up mucus wise, you know, so that was affecting my voice as well and all that. I still feel a little plugged up from time to time, but I'm better. I'm feeling good, feeling great out here with some great wrestling, man. And always great to watch wrestling on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Always great. So, like I said, let's get into the show here. Tonight's episode of AEW Dynamite / Blood and Guts opened up with a tag team match here. Kenny Omega and MT Nakazawa taking on Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley. So, Don Callis and MT Nakazawa came out, and Don said, look, Kenny Omega is not here tonight. Kenny Omega is not in the building, so Nakazawa, you got to take one for the team, bro. You got to have a 2-on-1. You're going to have to take on... Poor Nakazawa, man. This man's told he has to take on Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley in a handicap tag match, essentially. So, but lucky for him, as soon as Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston were making their entrance from the crowd, Kenny Omega attacked both of them with the AEW Championship, and then the match started. Once things got a little hectic here, I think it was Mox that was beating up Nakazawa and had pinned him. Kenny Omega came in, broke up the pin count, and then he got thrown out of the ring. And then Moxley was choking out Nakazawa, and Eddie Kingston was keeping Kenny Omega outside of the ring. He was gatekeeping him from getting inside of the ring. And Kenny Omega ended up saying, you know what? Nah, bro. I'm done. I don't want to deal with this shit anymore. I'm done. I don't want to be here tonight. I don't want to wrestle. And Kenny Omega left Nakazawa to deal with them on his own. And I think this is the first time we've seen the tag team finisher of Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley as well. Did I see the joke? Yes, we already talked about that, about the bed thing. This is the first time we saw their little tag team finisher, which was great. I thought it was great. Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston get the win over MT Nakazawa and Kenny Omega to open up the show tonight. But they may have won the match, but they didn't win the battle, and they surely did not have the last laugh tonight. Once this match was over, the Young Bucks came out, and man, Matt Jackson, he was wearing some sort of fancy flower getup with some matching shorts. It was very interesting to say the least. They caught the attention of Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston, and the Good Brothers ended up attacking them from behind. Then the Elite stormed the ring, and Kenny Omega ended up coming back out as well. And they just beat him down. They just beat them down. So, here's what I think. Miley Man says he was wearing somebody's curtains tonight. Yeah. I can't remember who said that. Was it JR? JR said that that Matt Jackson was wearing someone's shower curtains. That's what he said on commentary. Wearing someone's shower curtains tonight. Safa says, did you see what I sent you on Instagram that Finn Balor doesn't want to go to the main roster? Yeah, I believe I replied to it, didn't I? I believe I replied. I said good, because he shouldn't. He shouldn't. D&M says, Matt Jackson out here super kicking people with bare feet. Oh, gross, man. Ugh. You couldn't pay me enough to put someone's foot in my face, man. Gross. Obi James says, what is with heels and watchy outfits? Rollins, Young Bucks, Good Brothers. Yeah, they're just out here dressing wild as hell. And I hate those hats. I don't know what they're called. I think Triple H used to wear them back in the day. But those stupid little hats that Nick Jackson was wearing. They're so funny. So anyways, I was a little bit confused about where this was going because Kenny Omega hit Eddie Kingston with a one-winged angel. And then I believe it was Matt Jackson no, it wasn't Matt. It was Nick Jackson that did the 3 count on him. So they kind of did like a little mock-up match type deal right here. So I was like, oh, okay. Eddie Kingston versus Kenny Omega for the AEW World Championship at Double or Nothing. You know? Ashley says, you don't want to get super kicked by Riddle? No. No, I do not. I think I said it on one of the streams before, is that if I were a wrestler, I would never wrestle Matt Riddle, and I would never wrestle Pete Dunne. Because I hate feet. And I would not want Matt Riddle's nasty ass feet all over my face and body stomping around. And Pete Dunne likes to like bend hands and fingers and shit. And I don't like that. Ugh. Scuba says, we not even talking about Ribby? No, not tonight, man. Not tonight. Unfortunately, not tonight. I really want to do another AEW Underground stream. So I'm going to put it together. The next one, unfortunately, I think will probably be next Wednesday. But then we'll start doing them more often, as long as people want to watch them. But I have to go through and redo our whole universe mode because it all got messed up. But I'm going to make like actual arena for us. Now that I found out that people want to watch it, we'll do that. And then we could do Fire Pro as well sometimes as well. Safa says, Cameron Grimes wearing no shirt on the street is probably one of my favorite attires. I think it's hilarious. Yeah. Latrell says, Ribby is one of the best wrestlers in the world. Absolutely. Hardcore legend, man. D&M says, imagine if this was Wild and Out with Nick Cannon, Father Rollins, Young Bucks, and Good Brothers. We're having a contest, and they do a drip contest, Black Squad versus Red Squad. Nick Cannon dresses so wild, too. The guy wears like a turban, like a diamond turban and shit, and like diamond slides. It's crazy. Thoughts on War Games version 2? I don't get, why do people get so caught up in this being like a ripoff of War Games? Why? I don't get it. Other people do these matches. And this is a match that Cody Rhodes' father invented. What's the problem? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. The match was great, by the way. Thanks for asking. Latrell says, stacked shows for Tuesday and Wednesday. Can't wait for next week. Yeah, it's going to be a good week next week. Latrell says this is the original War Games, but in a different name. Yeah. Ashley says it's similar to War Games. I mean, it's because they're the same thing. They're the same thing. War Games is just this. I mean, This is what the original ones look like. They had a top on them. Dusty Rhodes was the one that created this match type. They used to have that on them. NXT ran with War Games. They turned it into a cage. And now everyone thinks that somehow, some way, NXT invented War Games. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Molly Man says, I missed the 2K20 Universe Mode thing on Monday, but I gotta ask, did I get my prediction right and the game would crash at least 20 times? Yeah. It was worse. It was worse. So, the game worked completely fine while we were setting up the Universe Mode and everything else. We had our first match, which was Humberto Carrillo with Ribby taking on The Undertaker, Biker Taker. That first match worked just fine. And then none of the other matches would ever load. It just broke. It wouldn't load from then on out. So we had to switch over to Fire Pro Wrestling World. But after the stream ended, I restarted my computer, booted it up, and it worked perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Shelvis says, I'm here. Just got done watching the show. What'd you think about the show, Shelvis? What'd you think about it? Nothing here says, I'm just messing around about the name, but I thought MJF looked good after the match. He's the only one I can take seriously in AEW. I love MJF, and I agree. I think he looked amazing after the match. That's why I used it as the topic picture, and that is why I used it as the thumbnail as well, because it's great. It is great. Iqbal says, WWE marks wilding all over the internet. Yeah, who cares? It's a crash pad. It's not the end of the world. Like, I don't get it. Warrior says, if anything, NXT copied NWA and WCW. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. The botch guy says, I swear you have some of the best thumbnails I've ever seen. It's so simple, but the template is brilliant. Nice job. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Even though there's not really anything involved in them. They're designed that way for a reason. Because at the end of the show, I typically give myself about 5 to 10 minutes from the end of the show to when we're live. So within that time span, I have to take something that finished in the show, and then I have to make a thumbnail out of it. And I'm not really one of those people that wants to spend 6 hours making a thumbnail before it. So the idea is that I take one of the last parts of the show, or like a highlight from the show, and then I take the font logo from Future Endeavors and just put it in there and just kind of give it a little thing. So thank you. I appreciate that. Safa says, nobody copied anyone. It was just a stipulation brought back. Yeah, it's template. Yeah. I say just enjoy the show. Oh, I got business calling me. Let me see here. Shelva says it was great. MJF is the future. Seeing him on the top of the cage, that was crazy. Like I said, my only complaint is the landing pad. That's it. The rest of it was fine. Was fine with me. All right, let me go back here. Let's get on to the next one, because like I said, I got about an hour for these. Sava says, I just saw your NXT post-show thumbnail. What is wrong with Timothy Thatcher's teeth? That's just the way it be. I think a lot of people that fight and stuff don't really fix teeth because they're just gonna end up getting busted anyways. So makes sense to me. So after this first match here, AEW announced that Hikaru Shida will be defending her AEW Women's World Championship against Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, on Sunday, May 30th at Double or Nothing. I'm so excited for this. I cannot wait to see this. And I really hope that the Doctor walks away as the new champion. I really hope so. And like I said, I need to be there for this. I need to be there. I want to watch this live. I want to feel the energy when Britt Baker becomes the new AEW Women's World Champion. Duke says teeth are an unnecessary expense for shoot fighters. Yeah, I mean, teeth are really expensive. If you've ever looked at getting like an implant tooth, they're like $2,000 per tooth just to get one. So I couldn't imagine if I was getting knocked around all the time that I would spend money on such a thing. But who knows? So the next match of the night was Cody Rhodes taking on QT Marshall, and I actually thought this match was pretty good. I saw that there was quite a few people who weren't very happy with the outcome of this, and I can understand that, but the thing that I keep saying, and I'm going to continue to say it every single week until everyone in the world hears and understands, none of this factory stuff is for QT Marshall. None of it. I don't think any of this stuff is for him. The reason why I think it happened is because he's a familiar face with Cody. When we've seen Cody in the past on all of the AEW stuff, QT was there. They've been connected this entire time. So it doesn't necessarily really make sense if you have Cody and Dustin and even, let's say, QT going against these guys like Anthony Ogogo and I can't ever remember the other guys' two names. Forgive me. So it doesn't really make sense. It has no impact. So, of course, it has to be QT. QT has to be the one to turn heel and lead the group of people. QT Marshall is the vessel to take this, the factory, and make you interested in it. That's all it's for. That is all it's for. And if QT beat Cody tonight, why would Cody face Anthony Ogogo? It doesn't make sense, right? So Cody beating QT tonight makes a lot of sense. Puts QT in his place, keeps Cody on the higher up end of the card here with another W. And then Anthony Ogogo comes out afterwards and lays him out, puts the flag over the top of him, and it's a wrap. Ashley says Aaron Solo and Nick Camarado. Yes, those are the names. Those are the three people. Anthony Ogogo, Aaron Solo, and Nick Camarado. Those are the three guys that you should be paying attention to. It's not QT Marshall. Sorry, QT Marshall. It's not QT. It's the other three guys. Like I said, QT is just the tie-in. He's the person that connects all of this together. Those other three guys, they're going to get pushed. You're going to be familiar with them. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Cody Rhodes versus Anthony Ogogo at Double or Nothing. Safa says we haven't really seen Ogogo wrestle up till now. Yeah, we haven't. We've just seen him do the punch, which is another thing to talk about as well, is that there's so many people that are mad about the punch. The gut punch. And I don't necessarily understand why. That move takes people out in real life. I mean, maybe you could say that a lot of these moves that wrestlers do are way more intense and stuff like that. But even, when the first time we saw Anthony Ogogo do that punch, I can't remember who it was that he laid out. I can't remember. I saw a lot of people complaining on Twitter about it. And then I saw there's a new show that follows Dynamite that is an MMA show. It's called like One Champ or something. I don't know. But anyways, I saw a tweet from Sean Ross Sapp with a gif of someone legit having a stoppage in their match because they got hit with a punch like that. So it all fits in place. So I don't necessarily understand why people are mad about it. Delight says one championship. Yes, that is it. Yes. Ashley says I see potential in Aaron Solo. The guy is still very young. Yeah, and I think Nick Camarado looks great as well. And Anthony Ogogo, I think has like the overall, like all the presentation. I feel like Ogogo is the person that looks like a wrestler, can speak like a wrestler, and has that like legitimacy to him. I feel like Aaron Solo could probably be one of those very talented high flyers. And Nick Camarado has that, he looks like a monster. Like he looks like a badass wrestler. So I feel like those guys, I think they'll be successful. I really do. And like I said, I think that QT is just the vessel to help bring those to your attention. So I wouldn't look at this L for QT as being anything. It's not important. It's not important. Rocco says Cody winning in the figure 4 is amazing because in the build-up promo before, QT turned Cody and said that he wouldn't put a figure 4 on QT. Oh, well, there you go. He's a liar. He's a damn liar. And I missed the part where Cody got busted open. But he was bleeding from his eye, I believe, at some point towards the end. Like, there was blood all over his right cheek and over his shoulder and chest and everything like that. Molly Man says, if Miro wins the TNT Championship, I wouldn't be surprised. Darby's been champion for several months. I think it's time to give the title to somebody else. Yeah, I agree. I think it's Miro's time. Now that the whole Kip Sabian stuff is done, it's time. For sure. Ashton says QT is the veteran of the group. Yeah, and we're familiar with him, so it's good to place someone that you're familiar with. It wouldn't have worked if it was like Dustin turning on Cody or something like that. It wouldn't have worked. It had to have been QT. Had to have been. DNM says, looks like Jericho is going to need State Farm. Jake from State Farm. Yeah. No kidding, right? Rocco says, Anthony Ogogo will for sure be something big. They signed him before they went weekly. Oh, did they really? I didn't know that. That's very interesting to know. But yeah, I have faith in all of those guys. I think that they'll do great. After this next match, we had a little segment here with Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, where Scorpio Sky apparently became the Riddler. I think what he said was a line from like an old school Batman movie, where he said like, who's scared of the big black bat or whatever it was. It was kind of weird. I don't mind the pairing of Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page if they're a tag team. From what I understand though, they're not a tag team. So I don't necessarily understand what is going on. Maybe they're just good friends, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just a little bit confused, and maybe that's my own problem because I don't watch Dark, and I don't watch Elevation or Dark Elevation. Actually, you know what? That's not my fault. That's not my fault at all because they don't make those shows feel like they need to be watched, unfortunately. So I still feel like I miss out on a lot of AEW content when they're padding people's wins and loss records, and I miss out on some of the things, but AEW hasn't made me feel like I need to watch AEW Dark or AEW Dark Elevation. I haven't felt it. I watched the first Dark. It wasn't for me. I watched the first Dark Elevation. It wasn't for me either. So I don't know. Maybe someday that will change. I'm still very excited to see this next hour of television that AEW is going to bring to TNT. So I hope that has a big feel for it as well. Molly Man says, crazy fact, Darby has been TNT champion longer than Sting has been in AEW. Really? Really? Hold on. Let me look this up. That's crazy. You know, when I was watching that Busted Open thing with Tony Khan today, he was saying that, you know, he'll be very excited to see fans back in the building and stuff like that. And then something that I hadn't realized that he was talking about Brody Lee, and he was like, we have a lot of people on our roster who haven't had full crowds. And he was like, Brody debuted to no crowd, and unfortunately he passed away before we returned to crowds. And Matt Hardy debuted on that same day as well with no crowds. It's just crazy to think of like how long we've been in this pandemic and like how long professional wrestling has been changed. It's crazy. So yeah, Darby Allin won the championship on November 7th, 2020. He's been the champion for 180 days. Safa says, I think at Dawn we get Darby and Sting versus Ethan and Scorpio, but then who will Miro face for the TNT championship? I'm not sure. If Miro, well, no, I'm going to say when. When Miro wins the TNT championship, all I want to see is I want to see him destroy everyone. I want him to run through everyone. I don't care if it's open challenges like Darby's been doing. I don't care if it's just regular matches. I just want to see Miro continue to destroy people. And you know, when you do stuff like this, if this is the case, it comes full circle, right? So you have Darby Allin. Well, I guess we'll skip this part when we get to it in the show since we're going to talk about it. But you have someone like Darby Allin, right? Darby Allin has been unkillable. Like, the guy, you can't defeat him. You can throw him off things. You can hit him with certain things. You can do whatever it is that you feel like you need to do. But at the end of the day, Darby Allin will survive. It doesn't matter what you throw at Darby Allin will survive it. Until he gets up to the guy Miro, undefeated in singles competition. You can't survive Miro. That's the story. And it's amazing. So if you continue to have someone like Miro, who is just destroying everyone in his path with the TNT Championship, when you continue to do that, when someone beats Miro and someone takes that TNT Championship off of him, it's important. And it elevates the guy that beat him. That is what is important. This is different from WWE, where you have Big E and Apollo Crews facing each other 6 times over and over and over for the Intercontinental Championship. And then one day out of nowhere, Apollo Crews wins it. And now we're just flip-flopped. So now Apollo Crews is defending against Big E 4 different times. I like the story that is being told here. Darby Allin, the unkillable. And man, I wish I would have written down what he said, because it was really good. He said something, Miro said something along the lines of, what will happen when the unkillable guy comes up against the guy that doesn't mind killing him, or something along those lines. And I was just like, yes, this is amazing. I love this so much. It's so important. I cannot wait. I really hope that Miro dethrones Darby Allin and becomes the TNT champion. I think it's the first step to building up Miro to becoming the AEW champion that I know he's for sure going to be at some point. And I think it's important to keep him away. I always think it's important to keep these people away from things until it's their time. Sure, you can have other people come up, Pac, fine. Mox, fine. Eddie Kingston, fine. Orange Cassidy, fine. But like Miro, if you throw him in the ring and he loses, it takes away that special feel, if you ask me. So to keep him separate from that, I think is very important. Hold on. This person keeps calling me. Hold on. It's a business call. Hopefully it'll just be 1 second. Hold on 1 sec. Okay, cool. Miley Man says, if Miro loses, we right. Yeah, 100%. I'm going to be very angry about that. Rocco says, fun fact, Anthony Ogogo was supposed to be a part of the Inner Circle, but Jericho wanted someone bigger, so he pitched Hager. The Lucha Bros were also supposed to be a part of the Inner Circle. Wow. Crazy. I think Jericho wanted MJF as a part of the Inner Circle as well. So how crazy would it have been if the Inner Circle would have been completely different back then? Delight says, if Britt loses, we riot. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Warrior says, plus Miro hasn't been beaten on 1-on-1 matches. So best of all, he's been protected for this match. Yes. It's all important. It's all important. I think a lot of people end up overlooking certain things like that, where the groundwork it's there. It's there. It's all there. Van says, yo, still no 1080p pain. Is there not? Oh, is the quality trash? Hold on a second. Oh no, this says 720. Okay. Yeah, I feel like I need to change up the bit rate as well, because I wasn't really happy with the quality of AEW Underground. It looked a little pixely to me. So I need to remember to change to get 1080. I need to remember. Although I'm not necessarily sure it matters in this situation, because it's just a pretty static screen. But I don't know. We'll see. When I ever do the face cam thing, I think it'll be 1080p 60 FPS as well. So we'll see. DNM says, so is the feud with Jade Cargill and Red Velvet still going? I actually have no clue. I have no clue. Delay says, I still think that Abaddon should have won at New Year's Smash. It certainly would have been interesting. That is for sure. Van says, I watched AEW Underground and wanted Humberto to win. Oh, man. You know, I'm actually surprised because I thought you guys were going to do me dirty, and I thought that I thought I was going to put like Humberto Carrillo and Gold or something in like my first world championship match, and he'd be like the face of my company or something like that. Like, man, oh man. Next up, we had Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, taking on local talent. I can't remember this woman's name, but yeah, it was just a glorified squash match essentially. Britt Baker gets the win. Like I said, we already talked about her championship match coming up at Double or Nothing, so very excited for that. Jeremy says, what has been your most entertaining stream ever? The first one was great. I haven't gone back and watched it. I'm waiting until someone had told me that I've come a long way since then, and I'm going to rewatch it at some point, but I'm going to wait until I do face cam stuff so I can react to it. Because someone said I sounded very robotic and like nervous, which is probably true because it's scary as hell. Aside from that one for being the first, the 2 WrestleMania streams were great. I had a lot of fun with those. It was great hanging out with everyone. Recently though, the AEW Underground stream was a blast. Like, I can't explain to you how much fun I had on that stream. It was, and I can't believe how many people tuned in to that stream. I can't believe it still. It's like, it just keeps going up. It's like at 800 and something views. And like 150 hours of watch time. Like, it's absolutely insane. So like, I think that's probably what my favorite one was in terms of that. And if you want to be a part of stuff like that, make sure to go ahead and subscribe over there to my gaming channel, because we will be there more playing wrestling games and other stuff, and it will be controlled by you guys. I'm gonna pin that to the top too. Ashley says there was like 200 people in WrestleMania. Yeah, there was. You know, another one of the crazy ones was TLC. I don't know why, but for some reason that TLC post show is my most watched thing on my Authors to Wrestling channel. It has like over 8,000 views, and I think we had like over 300 people in here for it. It was one of the only times that I have actually had to go in and put on slow mode in chat because I couldn't read it. Like, it was going so fast that I couldn't pay attention to anything. So it was crazy. Also, we're very close to 800 subscribers. I need to get that 1,000 mark. I need to monetize gaming, man. I need to monetize that stuff so we can do some more of that stuff. Jeremy says, I like how you're a normal WWE post show streamer. What do you mean? I don't think I quite understand. Miley Man says, you should have had Flair manage someone during AEW Underground. You know, that's a huge oversight. Because I always say that Ric Flair will be a part of AEW Underground, and we didn't even sign him. we didn't even sign Ric Flair. I'll have to change that when I go through and fix it and we redo the next one. All right, where are we at here? So next up, we are at the tag team eliminator thing. The winners of this match will go on to Dynamite next week, and they will challenge the Young Bucks for the AEW World Championship. Jeremy says most of the others complain too much, and that's all they do the whole stream. All right, I'll talk about this for a second. So I've said this before, and I think I said this on Tuesday, or I might have said this on Friday when I said that I wasn't. Actually, you know what? I think it was during the AEW Underground stream on Monday. I started doing all of this because I was very passionate about it. I loved WWE. Like, I loved Monday Night Raw. I loved watching SmackDown. And it was at a point where I was like, I want to watch this. I want to sit here at home. I want to cover this. I want to do this. It was never in my intention to be the person that comes in and complains. Like, I want everyone to do better. In my world, in my perfect world, if Monday Night Raw is great, I'm happy. If NXT is great on Tuesday, I'm happy. If Dynamite is great on Wednesday, I'm happy. If Impact can do something to make me end up watching their show, I'm happy. I love it. And you know, if people can eat at Impact and wrestle, like the Good Brothers getting big deals there, that's awesome. Same thing with Ring of Honor, MLW. Like, there's tons of opportunities for people in this world at the moment to wrestle. So that's great. If SmackDown is great on Friday, I'm extremely happy as well. I couldn't be more happy for that. So it's never my intention to sit here and complain about things. And that's why I feel like it's time for me to step away for a little bit. I think it's time for me to step away from Raw for a little bit. I'm going to be covering this retro throwback episode of SmackDown because it's a special episode, but I'm going to step away from SmackDown for a little bit as well and try to cleanse myself from all this garbage and see if something better can come out of it. Randy Orton, thank you so much, my friend, for the, I don't know what that is though. The 40, let me Google this. Can I Google this sign? I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen that before. An Indian rupee. Thank you. Rupee is such a badass name for money, by the way. Hell yeah, that's awesome. So thank you, man, for that. I greatly appreciate you. Let me get some woos in here for the legend killer himself. Thank you, man. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much. He says, too many commercials. By the way, big fan of AEW. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I do agree that there was a lot of commercials during the main event, and I do think that they should have done anything and everything that they could have to prevent that. I'm not sure if they did or not. I'm not sure the ins and outs of network television deals and stuff like that, but I don't know. But I do agree. I feel like it took away from it. Father Rollins in the building. How are you doing, my friend? Welcome back. Ashley says, Impact isn't terrible, but nowhere near the prestige of WWE. So I've talked about this plenty of times. There is something missing from Impact, and I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's not crowd noises. It's not... The wrestling is good. Ashley says, dude, what are you doing? Randy Orton is a legend killer, and you give him Ric Flair woos? I guess I can give him these. Some oops. The other thing that I have on the soundboard is a legend as well. Damn. Is a damn from Ron Simmons. I don't even remember what I was talking about now. Oh yeah, Impact. There's something missing. I don't know what it is. So the Impact pay-per-views that I've watched, I like them. The shows have been decent. Aside from those early ones that I watched that had like Wrestle House and all that weird shit on them, like that stuff wasn't for me. I hated those shows. But the ones that I've watched recently, they're not bad. It's just that they're missing something. Like I feel like they're not important, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's star power. I don't know if it's like maybe people that I don't necessarily connect to. I don't know what it is, but I feel like there's something missing from Impact, and I don't ever know what it is. Van says, I did that super chat and read many tweets talking about a lot of commercials, so I just said that. Oh, well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Delay says, put snippets of Steiner Math on your soundboard. Oh, God, man. Like, and that's another thing about Impact that I can't stand watching, is that they play the Steiner Math thing 15 times during the commercials, because I watch on Twitch when I watch it. And it's so annoying. Like, yes, it's hilarious. It's great. It's fun. But like when you show it to me 15 times in 2 hours, like it loses its value. Leroy says, I like Impact Wrestling because like AEW Dynamite, it's a great alternative to Raw and SmackDown. Yeah, I mean, I can see that. You know, and I've thought about... Something that I've thought about doing is starting to cover other promotions where it's like, okay, maybe I'll use my platform to look at other things. Maybe we'll watch MLW. Maybe we'll watch NWA Power. Maybe we'll watch Impact. Maybe we'll watch Ring of Honor. And I will bring these out and maybe give them a new audience because, I'm a new audience as well. But maybe show other people that these shows are great and all that. It's something I've considered, but I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out the dynamics of where I want to take all of this stuff because I feel like it needs to change. Like, I want it to get big. Like, I want this to be big. I want it to be bigger than me. I want there to be more people involved. I want there to be, like, a lot of stuff. So, like, my plans are much higher than what is actually happening right now. So, I just need to figure out the moves that I need to make those things happen. That's all. Jeremy says you should do a chill stream sometime. That'll be cool. Yeah, I do want to do another Sunday stream sometime for just like a Q&A or just kind of hanging out. I've done, I think, 1 or 2 of those. And they're fun, just kind of hanging out for an hour or two and just shooting the shit, talking about whatever, answering some questions, hanging out. I expect the gaming streams to be more so along those lines as well. Just kind of hanging out, especially when I get into something as the playing, like I want to play Breath of the Wild. I want to go through and play all the Crash Bandicoots and like all sorts of stuff like that. So that would lead to a lot of ways where we could just hang out and have conversations and do things. So, Anthony says, are you going to do what Dr. Disrespect does? I want to. That's the goal for sure, is to step up a lot. It's one of the reasons why I haven't turned on the camera. I have it. It's sitting right. It's like, it's all set up. Like if I wanted to, I could legit just go over to, I think this. I got everything. It's all there. But I want there to be more to it. Like, it's hard to explain. I'll explain it sometime. But I have big plans. I have big goals. And I don't want to just be another guy. Everyone who watches wrestling has a YouTube channel. Everyone who watches wrestling has an opinion. Everyone who watches wrestling has a podcast. Everyone who's wrestling has a live show on YouTube or something. So when I do this next step, we're going to do it. It's going to be big. Like, I don't want to just be where we're at. I want it to be very high production value. I want to go all out for it. So, Alex says, did anyone else see a static screen or was that just me? That is it's called a stinger. A stinger transition. So, it does the little glitch effect and the little sound effect as well. I will not do it, by the way. I will not do it. Alex says, do you think WWE and AEW will ever partner up? No, I do not. No. Rocco says, Tony Khan said it perfectly, saying that he wants fresh matches and not the same matches and DQ finishes for 17 weeks. Yes, God bless Tony Khan, man. Ashley says, I gotta go now. See you on Friday for SmackDown. Thank you so much, man, for tuning in. I will see you on Friday for SmackDown. Jeremy says, so basically you want to be different. Yes. Yeah, different. I want to stand out. I want to change the game, essentially. And I don't know what that looks like at the moment. I haven't painted that picture yet. I have the idea. I know what I want to do. I know what the goal is. I just haven't quite figured out what it looks like. So when I get to that point, I will do whatever it is I need to do to get to that point. No expenses spared. I don't care. I'll make it happen. But until then, I'm going to continue to try doing other things. I'm going to try to do other things. The gaming streams are so much fun to me. It's a lot of fun. Just hanging out and chatting is a lot of fun. And even like having my days on Monday is very special. Like it was just so nice to be able to not watch the bullshit and just kind of relax and stuff. Jeremy says it'll be a great day when you make the face reveal announcement. Yeah, and it's also something that I want to play around with. Like, I want to tease people for a while. I want to do some cool stuff. And like, aside from like all of the other high production or high value production quality kind of stuff that I want to incorporate into all of it, like I also have something that I want to do that I'll have to plan a little bit before that. I feel like I have to do it. You could probably figure it out if you think about it and you dig around at some of the things that I've done before in the past, but there's something that I have to do. I absolutely have to do it. So yeah, I need to get things to be able to do that as well. Van says, just promise one thing. When you become famous, you do a collab with Humberto Carrillo. That would be hilarious. I would love that. I would love that. Rocco says, did you guys watch Ospreay versus Shingo? I'm not a huge New Japan guy, but this might have been the best match I've ever seen. I've heard that was a really good match. I didn't watch it though. Trevin says, face reveal, he's Sting. We've seen him before. That's right. I am. Warrior says, face reveal is just a picture of Sting without the face paint. You know what's funny is that something that I thought about doing was taking a picture of the back of my room, which is, I haven't redone my room yet. My office room in the house, because I'm still waiting to do my computer stuff and you just can't buy it. So currently what I have behind me, and if I ever turn on the camera as well, you'll see it's just 2 IKEA dressers with a bunch of Yeezys sitting on top of them. So that's what you will see behind me if I ever turn it on. And so I actually made this. I took a picture of it as if it was like my camera, right? And then I got an email from AEW. It was about Sting on their podcast. And it was literally him sitting down perfectly without makeup on. So I was going to have that as my screen for a while, but I decided to not run with that. And I kind of really want like a cool background. Like I haven't decided if I want to green screen in or if I just want to have like a really cool background. So I haven't figured that stuff out either. Anthony says, do something like AEW Underground. When is that going to happen? Probably next Monday. Miley Man says, it sucks that on the same day that you do your AEW Underground stream, that an Eva Marie return video package starts happening. You can always watch them on Twitter. That's what I did. I caught up with that show on Twitter so fast, and I said, man, I'm so glad I didn't watch the show. I'm so glad I didn't watch the show. Angel Garza shoved a rose up Drew Gulak's ass. No thanks. Mansoor had a 49 match winning streak, got signed to Raw because of it, and his first match ended in a disqualification. I'm good, bro. I'm good, bro. What do you mean, when did I post that Sting picture? Are you referring to the one where I put my face on over his makeup? One sec. Okay, I gotta wrap this up soon, in a minute. Okay. I don't know. It was a long time ago. I don't know. It'd be hard to find. Maybe I'll do another one sometime. I posted one of myself as Seth Rollins as well, I think, if I remember correctly. Okay. So where are we at? Tag team eliminator match. That's right. The Acclaimed is awesome, by the way. I loved the Acclaim. They've grown on me so much. I wasn't expecting them to be very entertaining or very good, considering that they just kind of had that like rap thing, and that wasn't for me. But I really like it. They've turned out to be great. Very, very great. So we had this tag team match. It was Jurassic Express taking on the Acclaimed, taking on SCU and the Varsity Blondes as well. Whoever wins this match will go on to face the Young Bucks next week on Dynamite for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. And also looming over SCU is the fact that if they lose a match, they get split up forever as a tag team. Which is kind of weird. Like, you would think that... Hold on. Let me see if I can look up their roster. All Elite Wrestling. I think they have their roster on here, and it has their wins and losses and all that stuff. I want to take a look and see where they're at. Can I search this? Frankie. Oh, you can't search them, those bastards. Okay, I gotta look through it. I gotta find them. Oh, they're in alphabetical order. Let me see here. Frankie Kazarian. He is okay. So they are 11-0. You would think that a team that is 11-0, there is a blank spot. There is a blank spot in the AEW roster right here between Cash Wheeler and Chris Jericho. Interesting. That's weird. Let me look at the code for this. Oh, you can't. Oh, wait. Yeah, you can. Can I inspect this? What's going on here? Did they code that in, or is that just a mistake? There's a lot of shit in here. Okay, I don't know. But yeah, there is one there. So you would think that a team that is 11-0 would just kind of like be like, you know what? It's actually cool if we lose a match because we were just on an 11-match winning streak. And I feel like since they have that, it gives everything that they do the obvious outcome. Like, I didn't think that they were going to end the career of SCU on this match, but I do think it's obvious that they'll end the career of SCU on next week's episode of Dynamite with the Young Bucks. They'll challenge the Young Bucks. There's no way that the SCU is going to dethrone them and take those straps back. It's not going to happen. So I think that this will be the last time that we see SCU together. And it's kind of a shame that Scorpio Sky has just been kind of like thrown to the side of them. I would have liked to see him stay with SCU, but just be a singles competitor. I don't see why that's a problem. Marcel says, so what do you reckon the rating will be? My guess is 1.5 or 1.6 million. That's my guess for Blood and Guts. DNM says Monday Night Raw Wars 2.0 AEW versus Raw. Imagine if AEW wins this one. I hope that never happens. I don't want to see AEW go against Raw on Mondays, at least not with Dynamite. Maybe if they want to have another show, but I don't know. I feel like if that happens, that will be the thing that'll be like, you know what? We're going to crush them. And we're just going to put out amazing shows or something like that. Trevin says Jeff can come to AEW so we can have another Hardy Boys versus Young Bucks match or just a singles run since WWE did him dirty. Yeah. Matt Hardy posted something about that today, and I quote tweeted it and was like, yes, I would love to see the Hardy Boys end their career together in AEW. You have the Hardys versus the Young Bucks, Hardys versus Jurassic Express, Hardys versus Best Friends, Hardys versus the Lucha Bros, Hardy versus FTR. Like, there's so many good matches, and I probably missed a ton of them. Jeff Hardy versus Darby Allin on the list as well. I'm sure there's tons of other Jeff Hardy dream matches that you could make out of someone on the AEW roster as well. Miley Man says, I'm guessing why Kaz and Daniels would put their team on the line is because they've been teaming for like 8 or 9 years. Maybe it's time to do something different. So I think Christopher Daniels is the head of talent relations or something like that for AEW. He has a backstage role where he works for them. So maybe it's just time for him to do that. And time for Frankie to go on as a singles competitor. Perhaps it is time. So yeah, SCU won that match. They will take on the Young Bucks next week for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Next up was a promo from Jon Moxley as well with the IWGP United States Championship. And I always love to see this on the TV as well. It is so good. But the one thing that I hate is that they take it off TV. I wish that he just had this forever. Like, he should carry this around on a regular basis. I get that they don't necessarily want to have New Japan titles on their shows every single week to be featured, but I feel like it makes a lot of sense to have them on there because where did this come from? And why are you just a champion out of nowhere for someone who's not paying attention? Rocco says Dax Harwood is such an underrated worker. I agree. I think that FTR is great together, and I think they're even great as singles competitors. We've seen that as well. July says Jeff Hardy lost to Jinder Mahal in main event. Yes, he did. It's brutal, man. Absolutely brutal. Next up, we saw a segment here. This was live. This is where the show switched to being live. Kenny Omega came out with MT Nakazawa, and I really liked how Kenny Omega only had the AEW World Championship. It was the only one that he had. And Nakazawa was carrying the other three of them. I thought it was really cool because it's kind of like I don't know if they necessarily did this on purpose or if this is just me thinking about it, but it's like, yay, look, this is the AEW World Championship. Like, this is the only title that matters in professional wrestling. This is the biggest world championship in professional wrestling. Yeah, I have these other ones, right? But, like, who cares? I'm the AEW World Champion. This is the only one that matters. So, I don't know if they did that on purpose or if this is just because they didn't want him to have all that shit around him. But I liked the visual of this a lot. I thought it was great. Delay says I really wanted to see him carry all of them. Yeah, I mean, I can understand that as well, but I just thought it was really cool. I think it fits with what AEW is doing in terms of this other stuff. Like, they don't mention any of this other stuff. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. I don't quite understand this partnership. Maybe it'll start to take formation later down the line or something, but at this current time, it seems so one-sided, kind of. Even though Impact is, like, they got tons of pay-per-view buys, supposedly from having Kenny on their pay-per-view and stuff. So, I don't know. Trevin says AEW ratings should be great, and NXT and AEW are stacked next week as well. So, excited for the ratings? Yes, me too. Me too. D&M says Jeff Hardy just lost his dad not too long ago, and WWE just jobbing him on main event. Yeah, it sucks, man. It sucks. I feel like they promised him another run. It's what it really seemed like. I can't imagine why he would end up staying with them. So hopefully we'll see something happen afterwards. So they announced that next week on Dynamite we'll see a match between Pac and Orange Cassidy. It'll be an AEW World Heavyweight Championship Eliminator match. Whoever wins will go on to face Kenny Omega for the AEW World Championship. Pac and Orange Cassidy. I can see this going either way, to be honest. So I don't know. The wild card could be Cassidy, man. Could be Cassidy. I think that'd be great. And then we already talked about the Miro stuff. That was great. Next week on Dynamite, Miro gets a shot at the TNT Championship. So here is the rundown for next week's stacked episode of AEW Dynamite. We have TNT champion Darby Allin defending against Miro. Orange Cassidy taking on Pac. The winner will get a shot at Kenny Omega and the AEW World Championship. We have the Young Bucks defending their AEW World Tag Team Championships against SCU. Also on the line, if SCU loses, they break up as a tag team. Also, we have Jon Moxley defending the IWGP United States Championship against Yuji Nagata. That's a huge one as well. Tony Schiavone will interview Jade Cargill next week. And Cody Rhodes will make an announcement for Double or Nothing. I'm assuming this will be ticket sales. I'm assuming this will all be for the ticket sales. And I can't wait. I'm so excited. I'm going to try to get on that. We already really talked about the Blood and Guts match. Like I said, I thought this match was great from start to finish. It was very intense. There was a lot of violence. There was a lot of blood, actually. Especially FTR, man. Both of those dudes were busted up fast and like crazy. Some big moments from that was the blood from them. Sammy Guevara going coast to coast. That was a great visual as well. They ended up tearing up the ring and exposing the wood. And then, of course, the iffy finish of the match where MJF launched Chris Jericho off the top. Van says, another Hall of Fame worthy legend coming. Daniel Bryan. I don't think so. Delay says, when does Bryan Danielson go all elite? I don't think that he does. I think that this is my predictions for Daniel Bryan. He either signs a part-time contract with WWE or he works on a short contract basis with other people. Like, he's like, hey, I'll do 3 matches, or I'll do this one match in these 3 appearances. And then I'm going to go to AEW and do this dream match. Then I'm going to go to Ring of Honor, do this dream match. I'm going to go to Impact, do this dream match. And then, That's what I think. I don't think that you will see Daniel Bryan sign with AEW. I don't think you'll see Daniel Bryan sign with Ring of Honor or Impact. I don't think any of that's going to happen. I just think that he'll go out and do some matches for other people. And then maybe if WWE won't allow him to do that and still work there, I think he'll do that and then come back when it's done. And he could just be a legend there. I also heard that there was a Ring of Honor Legends ceremony, so maybe he'll be a part of that as well. Trevin says Blood and Guts and now Miro versus Darby Allin on free TV. AEW spoiling us. Yes. Stacked shows, man. Stacked shows. DNM says, you want to know what's funny? Whenever MVP says, why are you here, man? Vane says, I read somewhere that WWE are trying hard to sign a new contract. Oh, I'm assuming they would. Daniel Bryan is not someone that you want to let go of, for sure. I'm actually shocked that they didn't have another contract in place before this one ended. Him showing up somewhere would be a game changer. If he changed his mind, or if AEW was like, bro, we'll pay you whatever the hell it is they're paying you, and you only need to work 5 matches a year. Like, that's really appealing for someone who wants to still wrestle a couple dream matches and still wants to be with his family. Especially when we're talking about this Forbidden Door stuff with AEW. Like, if I don't think that he would, but if he did, he could have the opportunity to work Impact and New Japan, all while being a part of AEW. It's a possibility. I don't think it'll happen, but it is a possibility. Obi James says they might cover up the padding incident like the Revolution ending. I think these are two completely different things, though. The Revolution ending was bad. Like, it was very bad. The ending to this, like, this wasn't even a part of the match at all. So I don't think it took away anything from it whatsoever. And it's still someone falling down, like anything that can happen. Jericho's an older dude. How old is Chris Jericho? Chris Jericho is 50 years old. I mean, I feel like most people in their mid-20s, late 30s, even taking that bump, like, that's got to be brutal, man. Like, you can still get hurt for things like that. So, like, I'm not killing them for wanting to protect someone like Chris Jericho, but the visual just wasn't as great as I would expect it. Like I said, if it were me, I would have tried to figure out a way where Chris Jericho could have gone through that thing and then landed on it. You know what I mean? That way you'd have the visual of him crashing through something. Maybe even like some tables or something. Like maybe just like a really thin piece of wood that you put over the top that has like the AEW Blood and Guts logo. And you just go through it, and then you have the crash pad below, so he's landing on nothing but padding, but he's going, like, he's just gone. He's gone through it. You can see the destruction of him going through it, and he's just gone. I think that would have been a great visual, and even, like, shooting down, you could have made it look, like, darker in there, so it's not clear that it is a crash pad or anything like that. I think that would have been the better way to do it. That's just me, though. DNM says, imagine if there were jumper cables involved crushing someone's testicles during the Blood and Guts match. Oh, God. Too much. Obi James says, no pun intended, but Daniel Bryan is a yes man for WWE, so I definitely see him re-signing. I don't think so, man. I mean, it's possible for sure because he has a family and stuff, but he has aspirations to do a couple other things, and he's in the business. Like, we've talked about this before about or I'm actually not sure if we talked about, I think we did talk about this before, but you're in the business of your body. So like you can especially for someone who's already been retired because their body wouldn't allow them to go forward. Like you have an expiration date as a performer when you're doing physical stuff. And especially to the caliber of someone like Daniel Bryan, like you can't be doing stuff like that when you're 60 years old, maybe 50. I don't know. I have no idea. I guess it all depends on the individual, but you're very limited to what you can do. So he's on that time crunch where there's people that he wants to wrestle. He wants to have these dream matches and he wants to raise his family. So I could certainly see him saying, you know what? It's cool. Like, I'm just going to go do this for a little bit and then I'll come back. So Delay says, my only fear is that Britt becomes a transitional champ for returning Awesome Kong. That would be terrible. I would be so pissed for that. Van says, respect for Chris Jericho still wrestling like a pro, and especially while he is 50 years old. Yeah, I mean, it showed sometimes, but a lot of the times, Chris Jericho is still a great performer. Still a great performer. All right, that's gonna do it for me. I gotta get out of here. It's been an hour and 30 minutes. I got a business call that I need to make. Apparently, after this, we gotta fix some things. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. As always, I will have the ratings for tomorrow's show around 1 p.m., maybe around 1:10. Sometimes Showbuzz is a little bit late with posting their things. So sometime around 1 p.m., expect that. I'm very, very, very excited to see what that number is. I think it's very important to see what this number is, especially since they were really, really low last week because of the presidential speech and all of that stuff. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Also, I will be here on Friday for the throwback episode of SmackDown, and there will be coverage for that show as well. I still don't even know what the hell it really is, to be honest. I'm not sure if it's Blue Legends Night or something like that. And then we will prepare for the next episode of AEW Underground. Will be on Monday during Raw as well. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys for the super chats. I really appreciate it. And I will see you all on Friday. Have a good rest of your night. Peace.